Ellie. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Marley. Happy New Year. So welcome to episode 32 of Behind the MasterMinds. This is our first episode of the year. It was very exciting to bring this back finally. We had a good rest.
Yeah.
Nice. So we're hoping, obviously, for a better 2021. Today, our special guest is Marley from Shine On Collective. Before we introduce her, let's announce a raffle winner for episode 30.
Yeah, so episode 30 of our show with Escape the Crate. So who's ready to find that treasure? The winner will be walking away with a copy of their game, which is Escape on the High Seas, and let the drum roll begin.
Already got a winner.
Who's it?
Ooh, it's Eric Ackley.
Eric Ackley. Oh, wow, he must have been. Yeah.
He's entering a lot, and you see?
Yeah. Well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's, Eric.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
All right, so now getting back to our lovely guest of the day, Marley. Marley, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah.
All right. So Marley is the co-creator of Shine On Collective, which is a woman-led, Los Angeles-based immersive theater company that has produced original, site-specific performances since 2016.
Wow.
Post-COVID, Shine On Collective has expanded to create at-home experiences with their latest project, Welcome Home. Welcome Home is a discovered physical box of objects and letters that has been thoughtfully designed to guide you through a narrative world while unraveling secrets and solving mysteries. And some of the experiences even comes with tasty treats.
And speaking of tasty treats, they have a special treat for our audience today, and is 10% off their games until end of January.
Yes.
Use the code RUMORS.
Rumors.
All right, so let's start with our first question of the day. Let's talk about your immersive theater first. So if COVID didn't happen, would Welcome Home be like an in-person production? Would it be performed like on a stage? Or also, would it ever be a theater performance at this point?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So before COVID, we created a lot of like very intimate shows, right? So we would do shows like in the back of a U-Haul truck, or like in a hotel room, or a log cabin. Like those were kind of the shows we did, and we focused a lot on like these like really intimate, building really intimate relationships between like the audience and these characters that we created. And so we had like a lot of shows in mind that we were working on as COVID sort of approached. And so then once it sort of started to happen, we kind of had to take a step back and be like, what are the stories that we want to tell now? Like, is it the same thing? And like, how do we want to take all the stuff that we've been like building on and learning, like all these skills about developing intimacy, telling stories, and then how do we take that and put it into the world of like something else? Like, what is it? A Zoom show? Is it like what is it? And so we came up with Welcome Home specifically around thinking about all these possibilities and these ideas. So I think that's a good question. I think Welcome Home was built specifically to be this type of interaction, to be a physical box that you get and you do at home, and it's supposed to be your home. And so I think that I don't see it as like an in-person show. I think that it was built specifically for this.
Oh, okay. Great. I mean, we definitely felt that it was, something that we could enjoy at home, because it really involved a lot of audio, a lot of different types of storytelling. So we'll get into that though.
Yeah. Real quick, just for clarification, Eric, you did win, but you won the Escape the Crate game, which is Escape for the High Seas.
Yeah.
We haven't raffled off the.
He could be like purchasing play at home, and he can't wait to play.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay. He could be a.
I can't wait to win Welcome Home as well.
Yeah, we're not there yet. He's ahead of us. Almost there.
Yeah.
All right, so our second question for you is, you can definitely feel the immersion right when you start the game. The storyline, the characters, and the phone calls, the written journals, etc. And just there's some surprise elements we can't say because of the spoilers. We don't want to give anything away. I mean, these are things that you can expect from a real-life theater performance. But what about the puzzle elements that were embedded into the storyline? Did you have to hire puzzle designers for that part, or how was that incorporated into this idea now that the experience has been transformed into a tabletop mystery game?
Puzzle isn't really something that we've done in our shows before. We've done like super light, like optional, here's another little fun thing that kind of adds to the story, but it's like super light. And but besides that, we haven't really incorporated them into the show. But with this one, as we were thinking about like, how do we give the audience agency? Like, we don't have an actor there with you that's like guiding you through rooms or whatever it is, like helping you progress through the story. So how do we like give you, the player at home, agency to progress through the story? So we felt like using puzzles in a way that like they felt really ingrained in the story, like really important to the story and really important to you and as an audience member and to your agency within the story. We felt like puzzles were like a great way to do that. And so I actually designed the puzzles, and I'm a huge like escape room fan and do a lot of them and do a lot of puzzle things. But it was kind of my first foray into like designing them myself. But we had like a ton of amazing creators that tested it for us. And we did like, I think for like 3 months, we just tested like just so many tests, which like really helped. And because you talk about escape rooms, any of them that kind of inspired you along this game at all? In terms of story or just the design aspect of? I don't know if there were any like specifically. Well, I mean, I don't know if anyone in LA has played The Nest, but that has used a lot of similar audio elements, and they're such amazing creators. So definitely a huge inspiration. And then my partner owns Stash House, and so he is like a great support for me in terms of like all this. Yeah, Tom.
Oh, the other time, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of movies, and every time I play a game, like I always feel something that I like reminds me of a movie. Like when I'm playing these tabletop games, and what your game reminds me of immediately as I started playing was Stirrup Echoes by with Kevin Bacon. I don't know if you remember that movie, or if anybody else remembers that movie, but there's something to it that just pulled me in, and it slowly unraveled, and it really reminded me of like the eeriness and the suspense to it. So I was really entertained throughout the whole game. Yeah,
he's a big movie fan.
I am a big movie fan.
I love nuts and I forget, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I never know which movies I watch because I can't remember the names.
All right, so how many people are behind this production team, including voice actors? Would you have more characters if this was in a real theater production, or this is actually more than what you would usually put in a actual theater show?
Yeah, there were quite a few, and a lot were like people that we've worked with in the past in physical shows that maybe are like moved to like Europe or like are really busy teaching or whatever it is, and they haven't been able to do stuff with us. And so we were kind of able to like reach out to those people and work with them again, which was like amazing. Which we would never have had that, been able to have that in doing a physical show. But then we had like amazing. So I have two like main people who worked on it with me. So I have my logistics producer. So she like produced all the physical boxes. Like it was just amazing with like doing all like the food stuff too. And then I had my creator who does all the writing, not my writing, but she like I kind of came up with like a loose story, like the logistical idea of how it would work, and she just like took it and made it something that you actually cared about and like characters that you actually like felt for, and that suspense that you were talking about. That was all correct. So writer, that's Anna Mavramati. And then we had some great designers. We had a really great sound designer that we work with on our shows, Kate Kohler. She did all the audio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Text there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then some great like visual designers. Like we had someone who we worked with.
the drawing in the especially like the journals and whatnot.
The illustrations.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the handwritings was very close to mine, so I was really relating to that because I was like, this one is really real.
I can read it. It's similar to my own handwriting.
No, this is by human.
So our next question is, was this your first box game, and what are some obstacles you experienced during production? Is there any interesting stories you can tell us?
Yeah, this is our first box game. Before this, we've just done all in-person shows. We do tend to use like a lot of audio in our shows. That felt like a natural thing for us. Like we've done shows where I think our last one of our last shows, you went through it with headphones and you heard the character's voice, that you were like sort of stepping into their shoes. Throughout the whole experience, you heard their thoughts and their voice in your head as you went through it. So like sort of some similar ideas. But yeah, this is our first box show. I was trying to think of interesting things. I don't
like anytime when you're like, oh no, I forgot to put something in a box and I have to like call.
That is definitely a fear, but we haven't had that luckily. But we do have a lot of people. I don't want to spoil anything, but one of the biggest things is people being like, we don't have everything we need.
That's one of us. That's really we don't know what's going on.
We're second guessing ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
And you also use a lot of phone elements for the storyline and inputting the actual passwords. We've only seen this in one other game we played, which was Green Doors Labs. We done a few episodes ago, and it was an interactive radio adventure with Club Drosselmeyer, 1943. Would you ever considering transferring these recordings like online portals so international players can also have a chance to play the game? And also, we did find that, you know, as we said, like some parts when we were listening to the audio, like if we had to go back to hear the hint system, like, you know, certain parts, we felt like we had to like kept calling back to hear it a few times. So then I guess for the impatient players, will we have a chance to ever, you know, fast forward to that part and then hear that again somehow, like on an online perspective, you know, versus over having to call phone, like, you know, throughout the entire gameplay?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think we've definitely thought about it because right now we're only able to ship it nationally because of that reason. Because you have to make so many like American phone line calls. But I don't know. The thing that we struggle with is that the calls just feel so like part of the story. You know what I mean? Like if you had to go to a website, it would feel like it stepped out of the world. And we worked so hard on like creating this world that it felt like you were actually in, that having you like sort of step out of it felt like something that we didn't want to do. But I'm sure there are other options on, you know, there's always a way. Yeah,
because we have a lot of, you know, international players too that watch our show, and they're always like, when is this going to get to us?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You got to ask the creators.
Yeah, they're still waiting.
Yeah, so we're working on it, but that was definitely a big thing for us, is like keeping it that it all felt like it was this story in this world that you were in.
Right. So Angela from Cracking Up Mysteries wants to know, when COVID is behind you, fingers crossed, will you continue to create at-home boxes?
That's a good question. I mean, a really big positive for us has been that we've been able to reach people that we normally wouldn't. I mean, we've only done shows in LA, so if you're not in LA, you can't see our shows, you know. And so we've been sending them to, I forget how many states it was. Amanda would know. She told me how many. I think it was quite a few. It was a lot of states that we've been sending these to. So all those people that normally wouldn't get to see our things have been able to see it. So that's been really amazing. But I think that, I mean, we also had a lot of fun creating this at-home experience. But we may go to some like hybrid type thing where you can do the box, but then you can also go to like a physical location and they sort of tie together kind of thing.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I like Angela's new headshot.
New profile pic.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if you want to give their welcome home experience a try, this is your chance. If you type in "send it to my home, sweet home," you'll be entered into the raffle for a chance to win one of the games. And for pin lovers out there are plenty of pins in this game.
Yeah. So, you know.
Yeah. So,
oh, there it is. Yeah.
I'm showing off now. That's what it looks like.
We had ours on earlier. Totally forgot to take it off. We took a nap and it poked us. Like, oh.
If you missed this live stream, our video will be posted on YouTube and IGTV for you to watch in your convenient time in the later time. Mm-hmm. And so if you enter, you can enter those secret phrases in those comment sections as well before episode 34, which airs on, is it February 22nd? I feel like that's a mistake. January 22nd.
January 22nd.
Yeah. Yes, which is we'll announce the winner.
Yeah. So we know you also offer food or snacks with the game in various areas, but due to COVID, some of the experiences had to be stopped. Are you still currently offering that food option? And what types of food can the audience expect if they order that option? Can the game be ordered without the food?
Well, for your first part, we actually didn't. I don't think we stopped anything because of COVID.
It's just mainly certain areas.
Certain areas, right? Couldn't be delivered to?
Yeah, so we actually started it as like an event. So we had like certain weekends where you could order it and you could either pick it up or we would deliver it to your home with like a full meal. So it was like a welcome meal that the neighborhood had made for you. And it was like a hot meal. The meal was actually, we actually worked with a female chef here in LA who designed the meals around the story. And and so we did that we did 2 weekends in September and a weekend in October, like around Halloween. And it went really well. And we were like, this is great, but like, how can we get it to more people? Like, obviously this is just a box. I mean, without food. So how could we like ship this to other places in the country? And so we decided to change the food element to be dessert. So like to be like a baked good that your neighbor had baked for you. So that's kind of like what we're shipping now. So it's like this, like it comes with like these cookie bars that you get to eat with, like that your neighbor made for you.
It's kind of like a welcome basket, right? Like when you get into the neighborhood, they knock on your door and say, "Welcome to the neighborhood." And
part of the storyline.
Yeah, I love that. That's totally immersive.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like, I guess there is no option to like say get the game for cheaper without the food. It's like together as a bundle.
Right now, there's not. We've talked about it and we've explored like the option of doing without it. It felt, I don't know, we wanted to make it an experience. Like we wanted to make it something that you would have like a night of doing rather than like, oh, here's our box, we'll put it on their shelf and do it like when we have a free moment kind of thing.
Right.
So. Yeah.
Cool. I mean, like, having food, in a game is also tricky. We've only seen one other game so far that had this option. It was called Vampire Pizza, designed by Wild Optimist. Do you have to worry about how it's going to ship? Like, if the food will get spoiled if it gets there in time? How do you control the production side of it? Because I think a lot of creators are interested in doing that, but they're just worried about certain, issues.
Yeah, so Amanda, who I was talking about, is my producer. She's also she's a catering manager. That's her profession. So this is like this is what she does for a living. So she like worked really closely with the chef to make sure that when we did the food here in LA, that, that everything was like really fresh, that it would come hot, everything was like safe and, up to code and all that. So obviously we couldn't ship the food because it, like he said, it would go bad, like it wouldn't. So so the bars are specifically designed to be able to ship, and you can like freeze them, and then they come with instructions on how to heat them up and everything so that they're safe.
I do see that like on your website, when they do order the game, you have like a 2-week leeway time before you send it out. So I guess that's the time frame where you're like, oh, I need to see how many batches of brownies I need to bake for that week. Is that what it is?
I mean, that and just like nowadays, like shipping is so tricky. You just don't, it's hard because it's like we have to rely on it so much. But it's also so it can be unreliable, especially during the holidays. It was a little. We just want to.
But it does ship together, right? The game and the. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it arrives on the same day, I guess.
They're like
yeah.
Oh, it's in one. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So currently, you use a manually operated hint system through email, where the players will have to wait for an answer if they get stuck. Will you consider automating it in the future for those impatient players?
Specifically.
Yeah. Yes. I know it is. It is.
Because I think a lot of the players have that kind of those questions when we play these. Especially, I think recently we also played Box One, even where they had a.
You had to wait a whole day, 24 hours.
Like, not doing that. Sorry.
Yeah, to me, that felt like arbitrary. Like I didn't know why. Like an email, like you're actually emailing a real live person in real life and in the game, right? But we do actually have. We have identified certain points where people tend to get stuck, and we have given that email some auto setup. So a lot of people do get an auto email right away if they say the right thing. So that has helped a lot. It's probably like 75% of people they say the right keywords and they get an auto email right away. That hopefully doesn't look too automated, but stay in the world as much as we can. But yeah, you guys had to wait. Like,
I think the neighbors are sleeping now. The neighborhood watch. We gotta meet out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're up in the middle of the night.
I know. We usually play at 2 a.m.
Yeah, we're probably the worst people to call people for hints.
Wake up at 2, please.
Well, no, not for like overseas. We're probably we have a better chance of getting a response.
Yeah, luckily it's 3 hours earlier here, so.
Yeah.
Here's the arrow. He thinks that we are talking about Korean dramas at this point or something. He's always like, coming in the wrong time. But yes, where we're not
different type of entertainment there. Yeah, definitely check out Welcome Home, the experience, tabletop game box. And again, we have the secret phrase scrolling below for your chance to enter to win a copy of the game. And also 10% off if you want to purchase it from the website.
Yeah.
It is creepy.
Yeah.
It is creepy.
Yeah.
I have to say. So the end felt really like extremely real. Like was that something you added that like right from the beginning you were like, I'm gonna use that as an ending? And also wondering if there wasn't a real story that kind of inspired or any true events at all.
Well, actually, we still don't know if it's real or not. Like, I'm still convinced that it might be real. Yeah. So we'll leave it up to you to gauge the answer.
I'm mainly looking for if there's any inspiration. You don't have to do any spoilers.
Yeah.
Sure. The very end, the thing you do at the very, I won't say it because I feel like it's a spoiler. But the thing you do at the very end, or that I guess you can do. No, that actually was one of the later things that we thought of. I feel like it came later, like halfway through tests. Like we had already developed the whole thing. We were like, whoa, this would be like a really cool way to just like tie it in, like bring everyone who's played together.
Interesting.
No, we definitely felt the conclusion.
Yeah, so there was no like actual life event that kind of happened, right? That kind of the story is based on ish.
A real life event? No, there's not. But I think that
I'm sure in the world a lot of this has happened.
At least during like Black Lives Matter was really like all the protests at their highest point and stuff. So I think there was a lot of like looking at this like idea of not being like heard not being like believed or not being seen, and obviously not wanting to do that like super on the nose so that it becomes like, okay, I get what you're saying. But I think that sort of influenced it.
Oh, I like that. That's very symbolic. Like, it has a lot of.
But now I know where those like terminologies are coming from. We have a reference now of where, those things are said in the show. So
yeah, we have one last question for you. Finally, what's in the works for Shauna Collective? The future? Are you looking to produce in-person theater experiences again, or will you come up with more tabletop games?
I know Angela touched on this already a little bit,
or even other immersive experiences, perhaps through Zoom or live theater online. Anything like that?
Yeah, so we actually just designed a new, I guess, tabletop, like a box.
Ooh.
For a bar here. It's in Burbank, actually. So for those of you in LA, it's
okay.
Person only, unfortunately.
What is it? Are you able
Is there
to
a name for it yet?
Yeah. So the bar is called Roguelike Tavern. They're trying to open up as like an immersive bar, so you could go there and like, play board games or like RPGs or like see immersive shows, like very much like the place to see immersive in LA. But unfortunately, their opening date was the weekend that COVID shutdowns happened. Yeah, so they're now trying to open with take-home experiences. So you can go there or call or online, order food and drinks and puzzle box experiences. And so we designed one for them. It specifically focuses around the bar and like creepy things that happen there. It's called Spirits of Tillinghast. And it has some of the same elements as Welcome Home, a little bit more websites and that kind of thing that we don't really do with Welcome Home. But it's really fun, and it has a little bit more interacting with actual actors, a little bit more than Welcome Home.
Like purchase from their website? Is that how it
works?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's on their website, Roguelike Tavern. I don't know what their website is, but if you Google Roguelike Tavern, I'm sure you can find it. And then, so we made that for them. And then I know Wild Optimist is also making a box for them as well, because they're out here in LA. So they'll have some really cool experiences there if anyone's in LA.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we'll make a trip to Burbank just to play the game. We'll fly back home. Who knows?
All right, guys. Okay, so here's the moment that everyone's waiting for. It's time for art.
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, let's. What do you have to drink over there, Marley?
I have a Moscow Mule. It came from a can.
That's my drink.
What kind of
a can.
Yeah, what kind of brand is that? I've never seen that before.
It's what is it? Salt Point?
Salt Point. Oh wow, I love the graphics on that. That's great.
Oh,
so wait, it's all cool. You just pour it. You don't have to add like ginger beer.
No, it has all this stuff in it.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna go look online for it right now. So for my drink, I'm going non-alcoholic today. However, I've been this is probably my new addiction. So it's the Energy by Coca-Cola. I don't know if you guys have tried this yet. This is the sugar-free cherry Coke flavor.
The drink that you use to create our show, because we have to stay up 3 hours straight.
I must have had like 30 of these in one night. It contains guarana, B vitamins, and obviously caffeine.
Warning, it's addicting.
So we're about to play our game with Marley, which is called Drink. All right, so the way we play Think and Drink is we ask our guests questions, and if they get it right, then I will be drinking this Coke. And then if she gets it wrong, she will be drinking that Moscow Mule. I'm actually jealous. I wouldn't mind trading with you.
Oh, right. And she has 10 seconds to answer. Our first question is, what is the name of the town before it became what it is today?
The name of the town?
Uh-huh.
It's a trick question.
I think I heard a name. I heard the name through a...
Oh, the name in the Historical Society.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I don't remember.
If any of our guests have played her game, you're more than welcome to help her out, but if I feel like she's gonna be taking a sip of that Moscow Mule.
Yeah.
So, is there a guess? You want to venture a guess? Or?
Was it like no?
Didn't sound like it. Far.
Amanda would know because she voiced that character, the historian.
Oh.
I think that's
Yeah. Anyway, but the town is called Springs.
Springs.
Yes. Right. Before it became.
All right. You drink, and I will reset this clock. Okay, here we go. Second question for you is, what is the first and last name of the person whom the town was purchased from, and for how much?
That's a very in-depth.
Being cruel.
Moses something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1/3.
Yeah. Do you? Can you guess how much? We'll give you the Moses, but what about how much? You want to guess like a price?
It wasn't very much.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. So there's your hint.
I love to buy it.
That's your hint. It wasn't very much.
It was like $1,000 or something.
It wasn't that much.
That's a little too much for the back then, but it
Was it
Moses Eagle for $200.
$200?
She's like,
All right, we're drinking together because you got Moses right. And cheers.
Cheers.
all right. Our next question is.
Wait, hold on. You caught me off guard.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Question is, what's Ellie's favorite food?
Oh, it's beef short ribs.
Yeah.
Ooh, she got it.
That's
Yes.
someone's favorite food.
Cheers.
Is that why you remember?
Well, that was one of the hot meal options
Oh, my
that you
goodness.
could buy with the for the original event. Yeah.
beef short ribs.
Yeah, I would have in order for that.
Darn it.
Yeah,
All right, so
they looked really good.
yeah.
That sounds really good already.
All right, so our next question for you is, what's the date and time that bingo is held at the rec center?
I think it was Thursdays at 7.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Yes. Did you put that was that you that wrote that in there for details wise?
Yeah, I did look at that. I thought you guys might have some map questions, so I did look specifically at the map.
Prepare.
She studied. Oh my goodness.
Specifically said, do not prepare.
Oh, my bad.
She's like, there's only so much Moscow Mule I could take. All right, so our fifth question is...
Okay, on the town map, there is a candy shop. Whose candy shop is it?
Okay, this one I actually do know off the top of my head without looking, without having studied the map, because my cat's name is Violet. And I need to throw after her.
Oh, wow, very good. I'm going to finish this soon. Like this.
Any other store I probably wouldn't have known the name of.
I feel like maybe like 75% of our players
are cat lovers.
Have cats because the cats are just really good at solving puzzles.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
They're needed for designing puzzles and solving puzzles.
There's a lot of pet detectives, pet solvers.
Agreed.
All right, but we do have a bonus question for you, but we're going to need you to solve this. So you know how to use a Caesar cipher, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to do this right shift of 1. Actually, I'm not going to time you on this. Once you figure it out, just do it right shift of 1. It's not that difficult, the answer to figure it out. But here we go. All right. How many eyelashes are on the logo of the neighborhood watch pin?
Do not look at it.
Please give it to us by using the Caesar cipher right shift of 1.
I'm guessing it's 3. So U-S... Wait, no. T-H. U...
On the spot, you're like...
I-S...
Almost there?
F-F.
Yeah!
Yay! Wow. Okay.
Awesome!
Great job. Thank you for playing Think or Drink with us.
This is how many eyelashes that I have after, all my...
After they all fall out?
Yeah.
follows them from me when I'm sleeping. She starts. But thank you for playing Think or Drink with us. Give it up for Marley. It's always great to learn more about you and test your own knowledge on your own games. And drink with you.
All right. So once again, for anyone who's joined us late, the discount code for 10% off of their games valid until January 31st.
Right. Code rumors in all caps.
And
well, actually, it doesn't have to be all caps. Just want to make sure.
Like when they enter.
I don't think it matters.
Okay,
cool. And then also, if you want to win one of their experiences and try it out yourself, type in "send it to my home sweet home."
Send it to my home sweet home.
Anywhere below in the interview, or in our IGTV and YouTube. And remember to look over the post-edited version of this live stream on our Facebook, which probably will post in a few days.
Why?
I don't know why. Because you're slow editing.
No, because of a hidden. A hidden letter.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, like, this will be posted in a few days. I was asking you schedule-wise.
Oh, yeah.
I'm putting you on the spot. In 2 days. So you'll find a hidden letter in the video. Remember to collect those letters to make a phrase, so you'll get a chance to enter to win the Epic Escapes 3-game in 1 game box. That will be revealed on episode 50. So you'll have like 20 letters.
Just around the corner.
Or all that phrase. So, and next Friday, in January 15th, we will welcome the creator of Cryptogram Puzzle Host, Jack. And as always, if you like our show, and also, Jack is doing a special collaboration.
We do have a special guest. We don't even know what it is.
So I don't know. You're going to find out on the show. So if you like our show, please don't forget to share it with your friends and family and give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And thank you, Marley, for joining us today. We hope you guys had a great time. Audience, we'll see you in our next episode.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Good luck. Yeah, invasion. Let's go. Locked in, 60 minutes to escape. Think before you move, there's no room for mistakes. If you got what it takes, stop, watch, and listen. Cause the clock is ticking and the plot is sticking. No matter what.